We are coming up on 7:59, and your morning commute is highlighted by this mess on I-205 right now. Photojournalist Chad Dehart's got our drone up and over this crash scene. You're looking at I-205 near Powell Boulevard, where a semi overturned this morning. At one point, it was straddling the median and covering lanes both directions. You can see that only one lane is getting by both ways. So I-205 south, north and south, is still a mess on that side of town. Meanwhile, the drive across the rest of the freeway system seems to be responding accordingly. 40 minutes your I-5 drive from Main Street. The trip in from Wilsonville now is up to 50 minutes, so a real rough drive. But at least drivers have got a whole lot of sunshine to enjoy while they're out there stuck in traffic, I guess. There's the live look from our Wells Fargo Sky Camera this morning. We are off to a significantly warmer start today than yesterday. It's already 61 degrees at PDX. The plan for today has us in the mid-70s by lunchtime, topping out at 88 degrees this afternoon. More news, weather, and traffic in 30.
We've been covering breaking news all morning in southeast Portland, where a semi-truck overturned on I-205. Coming up here on KGW Plus, the latest on traffic impacts and what caused that semi to flip over on its side. Plus, a tentative labor deal could keep Vancouver public school workers off the picket lines. How this deal could also keep 20,000 students across the district from missing class. Also ahead.
What we have here is a series of very concerning behavior.
The man accused in a robbery spree across southeast Portland is behind bars this morning. We'll take a closer look at the video that shows the alleged crimes committed at coffee shops, fast food restaurants, and a dispensary. Then later.
Somebody has to think about the future and what we're going to be leaving people behind.
A Hollywood legend and environmental activist, gone at the age of 89. Coming up at 8:45, a look back at the life and film career of Robert Redford. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Drew Carney. It is the 8 o'clock hour of the Sunrise Show here on KGW Plus. We have Chris McGinnis standing by for a look at both weather and traffic. But first, we want to get back to that breaking news story. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz covering it for us in southeast Portland. Thomas, that's where the semi-truck we've been talking about all morning turned over on the freeway. What's the latest?
Yeah, Drew, that semi-truck is right behind us, and crews all morning long have been working on cleaning it up. You can see this northbound lane of I-205 trickling along slowly, but we're going to zoom in here on that semi-truck. At this point, it looks like crews are actually splicing it up into pieces to be able to remove the whole thing. A few minutes ago, we saw them try to remove the trailer, and it looked like it actually caved in the middle, so that didn't work. So they're looking at plan B, presumably right now. They've also had cranes out there all morning long, and this is something that's been a big impact here on I-205 since this happened around 2:30 this morning. Portland police tells us that the semi-truck driver veered away from a car that was driving near it. They say that the driver in the other car is suspected of driving under the influence. That led to the crash and the huge spill across I-205. Boxes and boxes were piling out of that semi-truck onto the roadway. Those have been cleaned up. Fortunately, it doesn't appear that there are any injuries in this, although the driver of the car, who is suspected of a DUI, has been taken to the hospital as a precaution. I want to show you another vantage point we have. We have our drone in the sky just above this semi-truck in the cleanup as well. You can see from this vantage point just the immense cleanup that this requires. There's been about a dozen crews out there all morning long trying to clean this thing up. We've seen from southbound to northbound here on I-205 several miles of backup. About an hour ago, it was backed up from Gleason Street on the northbound exit all the way to Clackamas Town Center. It's presumably only gotten a little bit worse as we've gotten closer to that morning commute in that 9 o'clock hour where a lot of us are going into work. But this has been a big problem. Earlier today, we were also stuck in gridlock on this. I want to show you a little bit as well the southbound vantage point from our drone and the amount of just traffic we're seeing. But look, this is going to be a problem all morning long. That cleanup is underway. They are making progress, but there's still a long way to go, meaning big questions that Chris McGinnis might have the answers to for your morning commute.
Thomas, thanks for that. Yeah, 82nd Avenue or 92nd Avenue are going to be your best bet to get around this. And that said, there's no way that those roads can handle 167,000 cars a day, right? That, just to let you know, that number is the average daily traffic volume from ODOT from their 2023 traffic counts near Southeast Powell Boulevard. That's just a mess, right? So only one lane getting by at this point. We'll give you a little different perspective on the map. Oh, and not to be outdone, there was a crash on northbound I-5 approaching Wilsonville as well. We'll look at your drive times in just a second. But here's the look from Powell Boulevard. Again, only one lane getting by. Northbound 205 is backed up to Sunnyside at this point. As we look at the drone shot, you can see that northbound lineup is miles, and the southbound lineup is also extending back past Interstate 84 at this point. Your drive, not good. I-205 South is heavy out of Clark County. I-5 South is up to nearly 45 minutes to get you from Main Street. And then as we switch gears and check out some of the other commutes, the I-5 drive from Wilsonville, for drivers that get past that crash near Charbonneau, they have another 45 minutes to go to get in from Wilsonville Road to downtown. So the morning commute is quickly shaping up to be just an absolute mess out there right now. Let's get a look at the weather. That is not a mess, although it is quite warm, and that's really the plan for today. You know what? We'll go right to the 7-day forecast. Why not? Since that is the moneymaker in the weather department. So we'll start off with this. It's a lot warmer out there this morning than it was yesterday at this time. On the order of anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20 degrees warmer, in some cases 30 degrees warmer right now than it was yesterday at this time. We're forecasting 88 in Portland. We'll dial back the heat a little bit for Wednesday and Thursday. But still a really nice finish to the work week. I mean, this is just A-plus weather for September. Comfortable nights, warm sunny afternoons once we get past the hot day today, and then we bring in that chance of rain. Drew, I'll look at Futurecast for Saturday and that rain chance coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, sounds good, Chris. A tentative labor deal is in place that could keep a group of Vancouver public school workers, including paraeducators and technology secretaries, from going on strike. Just last week, after months of negotiations, these workers voted in favor of a strike which shut down schools in the district, impacting roughly 20,000 students. Higher wages have been one of the main sticking points in these negotiations. The workers have told us that it's challenging to keep paraeducators on staff, and they say that leads to not enough adults at Vancouver public schools to properly supervise the kids. In a statement to families, the school district says this tentative deal came after tough conversations and a lot of give and take. Union members have until October 1st to vote on the new contract offer. If they agree to it, school board members will deliver their vote at their next scheduled meeting on October 14th. Another local strike also looming. This one would involve workers with Kaiser Permanente in Oregon and Southwest Washington, specifically unionized nurses and other health professionals who are bargaining with Kaiser alongside 60,000 members of the Alliance of Healthcare Unions in other states. Issues here include wages, working conditions, and the future of health care. If the union votes in favor of a strike, the workers could walk off the job anytime after their current contract expires on September 30th. Kaiser says it's still optimistic that a fair agreement can be reached, and it also says patient care will not be impacted during the strike vote. They're yelling, "One lunch." One lunch is what's being shouted by these Seattle public high school students, pushed back against the district's new lunch policy. They walked out of class yesterday as a form of protest. So Seattle Public Schools rolled out a new district-wide schedule this year, and it splits high school students there into two separate lunch periods. Each period is still 30 minutes long, but the students say the time is not the issue.
I have a different lunch than all of my friends, so I have to eat by myself during lunch based off of the schedule they have currently.
In the end, it's not really equal or fair to us when it divides us when we don't have any problems with our lunch.
The school district says it made the change this year to create these two separate lunch periods so there'd be shorter lines, more seats, and a full half hour for kids to eat, adding that it also gives kitchen staff more time to prep and serve the food. The district also issued a statement about yesterday's walkout saying it respects the right to peaceful expression and is committed to listening to students' voices. Oregon Senate Republican leader Daniel Bonham is stepping down from that role. Bonham announced that he's resigning from the Senate next month on October 5th. He's also backing Oregon Representative Christine Drazen to serve out the rest of his term. Meanwhile, Senate Republicans elected Senator Bruce Starr as their new leader. Bonham has served in the Oregon Senate since 2023. He also served 6 years in the Oregon House. Solve is hosting a big cleanup event in downtown Bend this Saturday. They're calling this the inaugural Pick It Up Bend, with volunteers set to clean up litter between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So those are the hours on Saturday, and there's still slots to sign up for. If you want to join the party, the cleanup party, if you will, you can go to solveoregon.org/bend. One more time, Chris, that's solveoregon.org/bend.
Got it. Thank you for that. Thank you for the clarification. All right, check this out. We've got a clear sky over downtown Portland. Remember the fog that we had yesterday? That's gone. And the chilly temperatures, for the most part, they're gone too. It's 61 last check at PDX, and this next map here shows us the warm-up from yesterday to today. It's nearly 30 degrees warmer in Tillamook right now than it was 24 hours ago, and that is almost entirely due to the fact that we've got east winds that are downsloping off the Cascades and downsloping off of the Oregon Coast Range. And when you bring air from higher up and drag it down, it naturally warms. That and the overall air mass is warmer this morning than yesterday, and you get a temperature map that looks like this. It's 70 right now in Battleground, 72 Camas, 69 in Troutdale. Not everybody has realized that remarkable warm-up, but stay tuned, you will. Once we get another hour or two of sunshine, the temperature should kind of uniform out a little bit, and we will all be warming up. The higher terrain, though, feeling the warm-up first. Estacada and Silverton right now sitting at 70 degrees. All right, the breeze is offshore. The sky remains clear. We're going to be sunny all day long, breezy, and quite warm. We'll get a wind shift tomorrow, and that will knock the temperatures down a little bit, but we remain dry for the next several days. Astoria in the low 80s. Tillamook could be close to 90 degrees this afternoon. The Columbia River Gorge, gusty east winds through the west end of the gorge from Hood River to Cascade Locks. A warm day for you as well. And across southwest Washington and northwest Oregon, I've got Battleground at 87, Vancouver at 88, and Salem. I feel good about Salem getting above 90 degrees this afternoon. Our record here in Portland is 92. I don't think we get there, but the point is it's going to be a very warm day in the I-5 corridor, and pretty warm across the state as well before we dial back those temperatures a few degrees on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And again, there is that shower chance Saturday and Sunday. I promised I'd walk you through Futurecast with that in just a second. Pardon me, I had to sneeze. I hope I saved you by covering the microphone. Let's get you out the door with a traffic alert. And this is the story of the morning as we look at some drone video that we shot just a few minutes ago of an overturned semi on I-205. At one point, that semi was straddling the barrier and blocking both north and southbound lanes. ODOT's only letting one lane go by both directions at this point. So there is a massive backup on I-205. I can show you where the lineup begins here. That's live at Sunnyside. So we're lined up northbound from Sunnyside all the way up past Powell, and the southbound commute is stacked up past Interstate 84 right now. There's the live look from Powell Boulevard, and we'll take you a little, I think we can go, yeah, that's near I-84. The traffic that's moving across the freeway there from left to right, the upper deck, that's the 205 commute. That's all kinds of backed up. Freeway drive times are a mess right now as well. I-5, another rough morning from Clark County. That's at 45 minutes to get you in from Main Street. And I-5 from Wilsonville. Drew, I mentioned this a couple of minutes ago. There's a crash northbound near Charbonneau. Once drivers get around that backup, they've got almost another hour to get in from Wilsonville Road to downtown.
All right, not good, Chris. Not good at all, but we appreciate the update.
And if I were a drug boat, I would not get in the waters anymore.
New this morning, the Trump administration reacting to another U.S. strike at sea, targeting what the administration calls narco-terrorists from Venezuela. Venezuela's president firing back. We're going to have his reaction after the break. Plus,
formal charges are expected today against the suspect in the Charlie Kirk assassination. I'm Bofti Imam in Washington with the possible confession before Kirk's death.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. President Trump announced another deadly strike against a Venezuelan boat. The president saying that it was carrying drugs. It's the second strike at sea in a recent time, heightening an already tense relationship with Venezuela. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell brings us the latest.
Wielding lethal force for the second time this month off the coast of Venezuela. President Trump defending a new deadly strike on a boat he says was running drugs.
We have proof. All you have to do is look at the cargo that was like it's spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place.
But that was not evident in the edited video posted by the president that showed a boat in rough waters suddenly on fire. Attorney General Pam Bondi warned of more strikes.
And if I were a drug boat, I would not get in the waters anymore.
However, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee, Senator Jack Reed, slamming the actions as an outrageous violation of the law, adding, no president can secretly wage war or carry out unjustified killings. The White House has labeled the Venezuelan government, led by longtime leader Nicolas Maduro, a narco-terror state. Maduro condemning what he called U.S. aggression.
Again, that was Kelly O'Donnell reporting for us this morning. Let's get to some other national headlines here with your Morning Rush. President Trump says he's bringing a $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times. The president accuses the paper of being a, quote, virtual mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. In a recent social media post, President Trump also accused the Times of making false statements about him, his family, and his business. Investors are waiting for the big news out of the Federal Reserve, with its Board of Governors beginning a two-day meeting today. Many expect it to wrap up tomorrow with an announcement about whether or not interest rates will be cut. However, some economists are sounding the alarm about, quote, stagflation. That's the combination of slow economic growth, a rise in unemployment, and inflation. This looks like a scene out of the movies, but this was actually the real deal in Phoenix, Arizona, when a light rail train and a semi-truck collided. All 20 passengers and a light rail employee on that train managed to get off it safely. The driver of the semi was taken to the hospital, but is expected to survive. There's still no word yet on a cause. And that's a look at your Morning Rush. All right, turning the tables now to the Weather Center. Chris McGinnis back in the studio. What do you got, Chris?
Well, we've got some summer to get through yet, right? We talked about the official start of fall a week from yesterday. Right. Well, it's going to feel summer-like, I guess summery, because it's appropriate because it still is summer. All right, real quick, I wanted to answer a question or two, right? How hot, how late? The latest 100-degree record, latest 100-degree temperature on record at PDX was September 5th, 1944. The latest 90 on record, October 5th. So, I mean, it's not crazy to hit 90, but the typical last 90-degree day is September 6th. So we are getting into some rare air here, and that's the story today. Breezy and much warmer today. You're going to notice that when you step outside. A little cooler Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but still some really nice weather in our midweek forecast. And then I do have some possible weekend showers. I'll show you that with Futurecast in a second. First, when you step outside, you're going to feel this right away. It's warmer, and in some cases, a lot warmer than yesterday. 61 at the airport. The plan for today has Portland getting into the upper 80s at PDX. The record for today, 92. So I think we fall just shy of that. But check out Futurecast. It's got Salem at 91. It actually briefly pushes Tillamook into the upper 80s this afternoon as well, before the breeze begins to turn onshore later this afternoon at the coast. But before that happens, I mean, Astoria, Newport, Pacific City could be in the 80s. Not Newport, but Tillamook could be well into the 80s this afternoon before that. East of the Cascades, a sunny, warm day for you folks as well, with temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Again, the breeze across the Cascades keeping us warm and dry. I'll let Futurecast roll here because there's not much going on this week until we get into the weekend. Here's Futurecast Saturday. I promised I would walk you through this. What are the actual rain chances for this weekend? This is the European model, and the GFS also kind of shows the same thing, that The valley at this point remains dry for most of the day on Saturday, and then it's Saturday night and Sunday where that rain comes in. Obviously, that timing is subject to change, but if you're making weekend plans right now, just know that there's a chance of rain somewhere in there later Saturday through Sunday. In the short term, near record warmth today, and then we dial it back a bit, but a really nice forecast Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, let's get you out the door with that big traffic alert. This is drone video that we shot just a few minutes ago here on I-205 at Powell Boulevard, and that is the mess that is making a mess of the morning commute. At this point, it sounds like there were only minor injuries, if there were any injuries with this crash, but the scene is that. It's I-205 at Powell Boulevard, multiple lanes blocked both directions, and as we bring you to the not the traffic map, but the ripple effect, the drive times across the freeway system are really rough this morning. Northbound I-5 from Wilsonville, that's almost an hour to get you in from the Boone Bridge north of the Markham Bridge. And then the trip out of Clark County is also heavy. 205 is backing up in advance of that crash near Powell, and I-5 is extra busy as well. It's almost 45 minutes to get you in from Main Street. We'll be right back.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Earlier this morning, a federal judge in New York dismissed 2 terror-related charges against Luigi Mangione, the man accused of gunning down the CEO of United Healthcare last year. This morning's ruling came in a state courtroom where supporters of Mangione have been gathering. The judge tossed out the charges of first and second-degree murder as crimes of terrorism, calling them, quote, legally insufficient. Mangione's defense had argued that terrorism applies to attacks on multiple people, not the shooting of a single individual. Mangione still faces multiple state and federal murder charges. Meanwhile, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk last week in Utah is expected to be charged today ahead of his first court hearing. NBC's Bofti Imam has more on the pending charges and the new evidence that links the suspect to the shooting.
22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face several charges, including aggravated murder in connection with the attack on conservative influencer Charlie Kirk. According to the Washington Post, Robinson appears to have confessed in an online chat not long before turning himself in, writing, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." The Post citing 2 people familiar with the chat and screenshots. Another possible sign that may be part of the evidence, a text message exchange, says FBI Director Kash Patel.
He had a text message exchange, he the suspect, with another individual, in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie stood for.
The FBI says the suspect is not cooperating, but points out they found the suspect's DNA on 2 pieces of evidence. While authorities haven't confirmed a motive, the president blames the left.
Looks like he was radicalized over the internet, and it's radicalized on the left. He's a left.
The Trump administration's effort to find and punish Americans who criticize Charlie Kirk intensifying, including measures to use the federal government to crack down on what the administration called vast domestic terrorist networks.
We are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout this government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks.
Back in Utah, classes resume on campus as the suspect remains on special watch status, meaning closer supervision. Now, authorities say Robinson will stay on that special watch status until he passes a mental health evaluation. Meanwhile, plans for a massive memorial service are underway for this Sunday in Kirk's home state of Arizona. The service is expected to draw thousands at State Farm Stadium, including President Trump. In Washington, Bofta Imam, NBC News.
And is that mask, if you recall, it looks like it depicts Walter White from the show Breaking Bad?
Yeah, that's correct. Coming up here at 8:30, a man is set for arraignment today for allegedly robbing businesses in Southeast Portland while wearing a series of face masks. Then later.
The idea of putting something back into a business that's been good to you, or back into an industry that is a part of your life, seems right to me.
Hollywood legend Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. Coming up here at 8:45, we'll take a look back at his career as an actor and as a mentor, helping shape a generation of filmmakers.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. Portland police arrested a man for allegedly driving drunk before he hit a semi-truck early this morning on I-205. You see some of the video from the crash scene here. The semi-truck driver lost control. The truck overturned. This blocked traffic on 205 for the better part of this morning. It all started at 2:30 a.m. Portland police say 25-year-old John Lee Jr. was taken to the hospital, and upon his release, he was arrested. The semi-truck driver was not injured. All right, Chris, what do you have for us weather-wise?
Well, we've got really warm stuff in the forecast today. So here's the live look from our Wells Fargo sky camera. It's 61 degrees already at PDX, and the plan for today has temperatures in the mid-70s by lunchtime. I've got Portland topping out at 88 degrees. So not quite a record, but certainly warmer than where we've been. We'll dial back the temperatures a little bit day by day, Wednesday, Thursday, but still keeping a really nice mid-September midweek forecast. The next chance of rain rolls in here, I think, later in the day on Saturday, lingering into the first half of Sunday. Fall, the season fall, arrives on Monday.
Good morning and thanks for joining us here on Sunrise. I'm Drew Carney, and we start the 8:30 half hour of our show with new information about the semi-truck that overturned early this morning on I-205. This all happened near Powell Boulevard. Portland police say they arrested the driver who's accused of slamming into that semi-truck. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has been out there now for over 3 hours. Thomas, what do we know about the suspect here?
Well, Drew, the suspect's name is John C. Lee Jr. He's 25 years old, and along with being arrested for allegedly driving under the influence, he's also been charged with reckless driving and criminal mischief, all because of what's happened right here behind us. You can see in the distance that truck overturned, northbound traffic continuing to trickle along as it has all morning. Portland police telling us this all started around 2:30 overnight. We had some video at 3:30 when this first was transpiring, that truck in the cab laying on the northbound lane, even though it was in the southbound lane. Portland police telling us that that driver, John C. Lee Jr., drove toward the truck driver. The truck veered and then crashed, causing this major traffic delay. Fortunately, they say no one was injured. Though, look, it's not just the northbound lane that's a problem. I want to show you our drone shot that we've got up right now as well. This is of the truck. Cleanup has been continuing for hours now as traffic on both sides of I-205 continues to trickle by. There's dozens of boxes that spilled out of this truck. What they've also been trying to do is actually splice the trailer of that truck up to remove it. They tried to remove the whole trailer, couldn't do it. It actually caved in half, so they're trying to splice it up. Also in the southbound lane, traffic is a big problem. There's miles of traffic delays here on both sides. In the southbound lane, it stretches at least to Gleason, and the exit, if we go back over the northbound side. In the northbound lane, it stretches all the way to the Clackamas Town Center, so it's a big delay for anybody out here using I-205 this morning, and it's been a big problem since, look, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Even then, 5 o'clock, you don't see much traffic here on I-205. We saw a lot of it this morning because of that gridlock due to this crash. It's a problem that's going to be stretching on into the foreseeable future. We're going to keep you updated and stay out here all morning until this thing cleans up. But in the meantime, Chris, I know you got a lot of information for people trying to get to work in their morning commute today.
Yeah, you know, so Thomas, for perspective, right, this is one of the busiest freeways in Portland. ODOT's traffic counts as of 2023 peg at about 167,000 cars and trucks a day go through this stretch of I-205 north and southbound every day. So this is a big deal. The drone video here from photojournalist Chad Dehart appears to show that southbound lineup, which at this point now, Thomas said Gleason, it actually extends well past Interstate 84 now. That's the southbound lineup. I can show you a different perspective here on our traffic map, and the northbound lineup extends all the way back past Sunnyside. Not to be outdone, the rest of the commute is not in very good shape right now. Inbound Sunset, 30 minutes, that's normal-ish, but the I-5 drive from Wilsonville is coming up on an hour now to get you in from Wilsonville Road north of the Markham Bridge. And the trip out of Clark County is no picnic either. I-5 right now is about a 45-minute ride from Main Street. I-205 is feeling some of that delay getting across the Glen Jackson Bridge down towards Interstate 84. So, Drew, a really rough morning, and a lot of this having to do because of the issue that we're having on I-205. Let's talk about something that's positive, or maybe it's positive if you like warm weather. So this map shows us the change in temperature from 24 hours ago. It's nearly 30 degrees warmer right now in Tillamook than it was yesterday at this time. It's about 10 degrees warmer here in Portland. Why? Well, the air above us is a little warmer, but we're also getting downsloping winds off the Cascades and off the Coast Range. And when you take air from higher elevation, higher terrain, and you bring it down, it warms. And so that's what we're seeing this morning. It's 61 at PDX. The plan for today has temperatures in the mid-70s by lunchtime. I've got Portland topping out at 88 degrees this afternoon. Not record heat, but still getting into the low 90s this time of the year is very, very warm. And I do think some parts of the Willamette Valley may get there later on today. We'll cool it down just a bit as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. More on that in just a bit. Drew?
All right, thank you, Chris. In other news headlines this half hour, a man is set for arraignment this morning after allegedly using a series of masks to rob businesses in Southeast Portland this summer. KGW's Alma McCarty takes a closer look at the crimes.
The Southeast Portland robbery spree began here in late June.
The first victim of the robbery was Dutch Brothers Coffee. It then proceeded through July, August, and picked up toward the end of August and early September.
And in the first video, shared Monday afternoon in Multnomah County Court, the suspect rolls up to the drive-through window, pulling what appeared to be a gun on the employee.
And is that mask, if you recall, it looks like it depicts Walter White from the show Breaking Bad?
Yeah, that's correct.
The worker handed over more than $300 in cash, and that pattern would continue, with the suspect allegedly hitting 7 other businesses, in most cases in a hoodie, gloves, and either a rubber or sheer face mask.
Yeah, he was saying give him the money, he didn't want to hurt them, and it was kind of variations of that through the different robberies.
The suspect, identified as 49-year-old Justin Christensen, is accused of robbing the Taco Bell on Southeast Powell, then the Burger King across the street. He also allegedly demanded cash from Starbucks on Powell, and 2 weeks ago took more than $800 and $1,000 worth of products from a marijuana dispensary on Southeast Cesar Chavez. According to court documents, Christensen admitted to detectives that he used pellet guns.
They both matched the description. One was appeared to be like a Glock 19 black, appeared to be a handgun, but it was a pellet gun. And there was also a large silver revolver one as well.
The court deemed most of those robberies qualified as violent felonies. The judge decided Christensen wouldn't be released before his trial.
Based on the circumstances, I agree that potentially one incident in and of itself doesn't necessarily rise to that level, but what we have here is a series of very concerning behavior.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
A business in Tualatin is still closed days after a fire that was started by lithium-ion batteries. Investigators say the batteries were stored on a rack at Van Specialties. Now, it's not clear if they were charging when this fire started. But Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue says these types of batteries are a growing problem. They say it's important to buy them from reputable places. Lithium-ion battery is swelling. They say you should take it to a recycling facility. You should never throw it in the trash.
Based on the kind of chemicals and things that are coming out of a lithium-ion battery and how quickly it can grow in ignition and fire, it's best for people to call 911 and get out of the home for their own safety versus trying to engage and take care of it. There's more likelihood of exposure and getting injured and causing more damage.
We also heard from the manager at Van Specialties who says no one at the store was hurt during the fire. In Hillsborough, 4 people are without a home after what investigators described as an unintentional cooking fire inside an apartment. This happened just before 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Smoke could be seen coming from a second-story unit on Northeast John Olson Avenue. When firefighters got there, they found a fire in the apartment's kitchen, and the unit and the hallway, they say, was filled with smoke. Construction is underway on 2 projects in Southeast Portland, all aimed at making 82nd Avenue more safe. New pedestrian crossings are going in where 82nd intersects with Ramona and Tolman Streets. The city is also adding new traffic signals along 82nd Avenue and installing stop signs at cross streets. These projects, we're told, could take up to a year. It's all part of an ongoing effort to improve Southeast 82nd, long considered one of Portland's most dangerous stretches to both drive and walk. All right, Chris McGinnis, what do you have for us in the weather center?
Well, how about good news?
Okay,
we'll have some. How about the weather? It's sunny, so we've got that going for us. It's also a little breezy out there, which is helping to drive the big warm-up. Not necessarily registering at PDX with a wind, although the temperature is up significantly from yesterday at 61. It's already 70 in Hillsborough. It's 69 in Troutdale. Camas has been in the low 70s now for a little while, and as we go out wider, Newport is 68 degrees along the Central Oregon coast. What's happening is we've got air coming across the Cascades and across the Coast Range, and as that air drags down, comes down, it warms, and so that's adding to the warm-up this morning. So I'll throw the wind arrows on Futurecast, and that east wind will continue blowing throughout the day today. So that's the reason for, one of the reasons for the big warm-up today. We'll keep the sunshine going all day long. Tomorrow the breeze shifts onshore, and that will begin to take the edge off the temperatures. But in terms of forecast highs today, Futurecast likes the central Willamette Valley getting into the 90s, 91 or 92 for Salem. Portland about 87 or 88, same story up towards Longview. Columbia River Gorge generally in the mid-80s, and the central and east side at the high desert elevations here, we're talking about maybe 80 to 84 degrees. So a very warm day here across the region, pretty much statewide. The plan here in Portland, temperature's already inching into the 60s, so I may have to bump that number up a degree or two. My forecast high is for 88, the record 92, so close, but not quite. We dial back the heat a little bit Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but again, just feast your eyes on this. This is some of the nicest weather we have in the Northwest. I mean, this is great, dry, cool, comfortable overnights and warm, sunny days, and we've got that coming our way Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with that shower chance returning on Saturday. All right, back to the bad news. This is the video that we shot just a few minutes ago. Crews working to right that overturned semi on I-205. This has been a mess for the morning commute since this crash was first reported at 2:30. So they're still working to get this cleared. This is near Powell Boulevard, and at this point, only one lane is getting by both north and southbound. And as we get you back to the traffic map here, you can see that the lineup is lengthy both directions on the approach to that crash. Again, the crash is at Powell. The northbound lineup starts back near Sunnyside Road. There's the live look right now. Town Center would be over on the right-hand side of your screen if you can see it, but it is lined up from there up to Powell, and the southbound drive not being helped either. So that's 31 minutes to get you from Clark County. Not to be outdone and not necessarily related, the drive across the rest of the freeway system is not in very good shape either. Leading the way is the drive in from Wilsonville. Drew, that's up to 60 minutes to get you from the Boone Bridge north of the Markham.
All right, no good, Chris. Thank you for the update, though.
The thing I live for and always have lived for is creating art.
Hollywood legend Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. We're going to take a look back at his long movie career, from Butch Cassidy and All the President's Men to later roles and the mark he made as a Hollywood director.
Hey, I'm Blair Best, and tonight at 6:30 on The Story, we're heading to Longview, Washington, where a tiny home village for homeless people hangs in the balance. Why the Salvation Army says it's no longer qualified to run it. Watch The Story tonight live at 6:30 on KGW, or anytime on our TV app, KGW Plus. Have a great morning, and I'll see you tonight.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Hollywood legend Robert Redford has died at the age of 89. According to a statement, Redford passed away this morning at his home in the Utah mountains. They say he was surrounded by his loved ones. Dan Sheneman reports on his life and his career.
As an actor, Robert Redford looked like a natural.
The thing I live for and always have lived for is creating art. So making films is the most important thing.
A native of California, his acting career began on the New York stage and on television before getting his chance on the big screen.
Why? Because I won't go walking barefoot in the park?
With the help of his leading man, good looks, his career took off in the 1960s.
Did you make a jump like that you didn't have to? I have to, and I'm not gonna.
When he teamed with Paul Newman in 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, he proved his movies could do big business at the box office. In the 1970s, Redford was one of Hollywood's biggest stars. He was attracted to complex stories and complicated characters. Many of his movies became cultural milestones.
Marvin, what do we do now? I wouldn't quote you even as an anonymous source. I mean, you'd be on deep background.
Like many actors, Redford wanted to work behind the camera. Ordinary People was his first film as a director. The movie won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1980. Redford was named Best Director. Always passionate about the movie business, Redford wanted to give back to the industry. He created the Sundance Institute, named after his character, the Sundance Kid. The Institute advances the work of up-and-coming filmmakers and showcases independent films at the annual Sundance Film Festival in Utah.
The idea of putting something back into a business that's been good to you, or back into an industry that is a part of your life, seems right to me.
The actor was also an activist who championed the environment and worked to preserve southern Utah's landscape.
Somebody has to think about the future and what we're going to be leaving people behind.
And while his days as a heartthrob came to an end, Redford continued to take roles in films that challenged him as an actor. Robert Redford. He made some of the great films of his generation and worked to foster the next generation of great filmmaking. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
I clearly remember 1984. I was 10 years old. My mom and my aunt took me to go see The Natural in the movie theater, and I clearly remember getting ready for this movie to start, and he comes on the screen. I can hear my mom and my aunt talking. He's so good looking. He's so handsome. And they're like, he looks so young, because I think at the time he was just about 50 years old when he did The Natural, and they're like, he looks like he's in his mid-30s. Anyways, Robert Redford, great career for sure.
And an iconic scene with the showers and the lights.
One of my favorite scenes in the movies ever.
And the music.
Yep,
yes.
It's all good, Chris.
Oh, rest in peace, sir. Oh, what a storied career. All right, let's get you out the door. We're talking heat, a big warm up today. So that's story number one, is that it will be breezy and much warmer today. And then we dial it back a little bit, but we keep some really nice weather for midweek. And I am eyeing that shower chance. Stay with me. I will walk you through what Futurecast shows us for the weekend in just a second. First off, what you're going to notice when you step outside this morning, most of us are a little to, in some cases, a whole lot warmer than yesterday at this time. Case in point, Tillamook is 25 degrees warmer right now than yesterday. In downtown Portland, the sky is clear at 61 degrees. The big warm up is, there's two reasons. The air above us is a little warmer than it was yesterday, and the east breeze is also taking that wind, taking that air mass and dragging it down the Cascades. When you take air from high to low, it naturally warms up. And so that is why we've got the big warm up in Troutdale. Troutdale's pushing 70. Hillsboro is 70. Yesterday, Hillsboro bottomed out at 43 degrees. 70 right now. How's that for a little weather whiplash? And for the locations that are still a little cool right now, give it another hour or so and everything should sort of uniform out a little bit as the atmosphere continues to warm. But the story is the big warm up for today. We're sunny. There's not much to show on Futurecast, so I'll put the arrows on there to show you the wind direction, because that is one of the primary drivers of our weather today. Offshore breeze, downsloping off the Cascades, downsloping off the Coast Range. That means that even the beach is going to be really warm today until the wind shifts, and then the beach will probably start to cool later this afternoon. Eventually that cool down reaches inland locations tonight and tomorrow. Futurecast like Salem hitting 91. It cools Tillamook back to 80 at 4 o'clock, but at noontime, Tillamook's in the mid-80s, so there will be a little bit of onshore influence late in the day at the beach. But the valleys, again, will sizzle, with some folks possibly getting up to near 90 degrees. So that's the plan today. I've got Portland topping out at 88 with full sunshine, a little breezy as well. Let's talk about the weekend rain chance. The rest of the forecast this week is otherwise pretty quiet. So let me walk you through Saturday real quick. Saturday afternoon, clouds increasing and our modeling suggesting that front coming through overnight Saturday and into Sunday. So therein lies our next chance for rain Saturday and Sunday. But in the meantime, warm to hot. Some folks might call that hot today. Certainly warm for this time of the year, near record warmth. And then we dial it back a little bit for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, let's get you out the door with the big traffic story for the morning commute, which is this. You're looking at video that we shot just a little while ago from our drone flying over this overturned semi on I-205 at Powell Boulevard. Crews are still working to get that clear. It happened around 2:30 this morning. The drive has just been a mess on I-205. It is lined up northbound to, the northbound lineup starts around Sunnyside. There's the crash at Powell, and you can see again, only one lane getting by both directions. The lineup again starts right around Sunnyside Boulevard. That's here, and there's the northbound commute. I mean, does that look like it's moving at all? That's the point. So 82nd Avenue or 92nd Avenue may be okay workarounds, but those in no way can handle the traffic volume that I-205 typically would. We're backed up on the Vancouver side of things as well. The I-5 commute's not real good. And man, Wilsonville to downtown is now up to 65 minutes here to get you in from Wilsonville Road to downtown. Drew?
With that, Chris, we celebrate birthdays.
Yes.
Birthday celebration time on the Sunrise Show. We've got Hannah leading things off for us this morning. Hannah turns 9 today. We say happy birthday to you. Andrew's up next. He's 45 today. You're not fooling us, Andrew. We know you're not 45 in this picture, but we love the shot that you sent in for sure. And then lastly here, Carolyn celebrating birthday number 62. Carolyn, happy birthday to you. If you have a birthday shout out you'd like us to share here in the air, you can send us an email. It's birthdays@kgw.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top stories. Police arrested a man for allegedly driving drunk before hitting a semi-truck early this morning on I-205 in southeast Portland, right near the Powell Boulevard exit. The semi-driver lost control of the truck and it flipped over on its side. You can see the efforts here to get that truck off the road. This all started at 2:30 this morning. Police say 25-year-old John Lee Jr. was taken to the hospital, released, and then arrested. The driver of the semi was not injured. A tentative labor deal is in place that could keep a group of Vancouver public school workers, including paraeducators and technology secretaries, from going on strike. In a statement to families, the school district says this tentative deal came after tough conversations and a lot of give and take. The workers have until October 1st to vote on the new contract offer, and if they agree to it, school board members will deliver their vote at their next scheduled meeting on October 14th. Oregon Senate Republican leader Daniel Bonham says he's resigning next month on October 5th. Bonham has served in the Oregon Senate since 2023, and before that he served 6 years in the Oregon House. He's also backing State Representative Christine Drazen to serve the rest of his Senate term. Meanwhile, his fellow Senate Republicans have elected Bruce Starr as their new Senate leader.
Well, the weather is hot or warm. I don't know. Do you call 88 hot or warm? 88's my forecast high for today. We're off to a much warmer start today, and some folks may actually hit 90 today, especially Tualatin down towards the Salem area. We dial back the heat a little bit Wednesday and Thursday, and our next chance of rain rolling in late Saturday. But boy, that's a pretty nice mid-September forecast. Contrast that with a terrible drive this morning. That's the live look right now from I-205 near Powell Boulevard, or Holgate, I should say. The crash is at Powell. We still have 2 lanes of I-205 blocked in both directions at Powell Boulevard. Northbound's lined up to Sunnyside, southbound's lined up past Interstate 84, and the drive has just been terrible this morning. Some of this drive time obviously related to that crash. The drive out of Clark County is still slow and steady on I-5 and 205. And I don't know what to make of this, but the drive from Wilsonville right now is 65 minutes. You got to think a lot of folks are like, okay, well, we got to stay on I-5 instead of taking 205. That stretch of 205 handles about 167,000 cars and trucks a day. So it is one of the busiest parts of Portland freeways, and we're down to 1 lane both directions.
Cars from Wilsonville to downtown Portland going at 16 miles an hour right now.
Probably to get to Vancouver.
That is nuts.
Yeah,
okay.
no fun.
Thanks, Chris, for all those updates this morning, and thank you all for watching us on The Sunrise Show. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.